You have a tiny army of food critics living inside your mouth. They are aggressive, opinionated, and they never sleep. Every time you take a bite of pizza, a sip of coffee, or a lick of a lemon, these microscopic agents are running a high-speed chemical analysis. We call them taste buds. But what are they really? And why do they seem to hate broccoli while demanding more sugar? Let's start with a misconception. You have probably heard the legend that your tongue is divided into zones. You know the map: sweet at the tip, salt on the sides, bitter at the back. It is a lie. That map was popularized in 1901 by a German researcher named David Hennig. He wasn't actually mapping the tongue, he was measuring relative sensitivity, but a mistranslation turned his data into a biological myth that persisted for over a century. The truth is much more chaotic. Your entire tongue is a sensory battlefield, and every single taste bud is capable of detecting every single flavor. So, what is a taste bud? It is not one of those little bumps you see in the mirror. Those bumps are called papillae. They are the structures that house the actual buds. Each papillae acts like a fortress, protecting the taste buds inside. A human being has roughly 10,000 of these taste buds. If you are a super taster, you might have even more. Inside a single bud, there are between 50 and 100 individual receptor cells. Think of these as tiny chemical antennas. When you eat, your saliva breaks down food particles into molecules. These molecules slide into the pores of your taste buds. They dock into the receptors like a key fitting into a lock. Once that lock turns, the cell sends an electrical signal through your nerves and straight into the brain. This is where the magic happens. Your brain doesn't just taste the food, it interprets the biological intent. Evolution designed these sensors to keep you alive. Sweetness is the brain's way of saying, go for it. Sugar equals energy. It is high calorie, dense fuel that kept our ancestors from starving. That is why a donut is hard to resist. Your taste buds are essentially hijacked by a survival mechanism designed for a time when food was scarce. Salt is the body's essential electrolyte. You need sodium for your nerves to fire and your muscles to move. Your tongue is wired to find salt pleasurable because, for most of human history, finding enough sodium was a genuine logistical challenge. Sour and bitter are the security guards. Sour often indicates acidity, which can signify spoiled or fermented food. Bitter is the most complex category. There are about 25 different types of bitter receptors because many toxins in nature are bitter. Your tongue is effectively a chemical detector scanning for poison. When you eat kale or dark chocolate, you are essentially tricking your body into thinking it is eating something potentially dangerous. That is why children, who have a higher number of taste buds and more sensitive receptors, often despise bitter vegetables. They are literally more cautious than adults. There is also umami. It was officially identified in 1908 by a Japanese chemist named Kikunae Ikeda. He realized there was a fifth taste that couldn't be explained by the others. It is the savory, meaty, brothy flavor of glutamate. It signals protein, the building block of muscle and tissue. But your taste isn't just your tongue. This is where most people get it wrong. About 80% of what you perceive as flavor is actually smell. This is called retronasal olfaction. When you chew, aroma molecules travel from the back of your throat up into your nasal cavity. Your brain combines the chemical signals from your tongue with the aromatic signals from your nose. This creates the complex experience we call flavor. If you pinch your nose while eating a jelly bean, you might taste sweet, but you won't taste cherry. Without your nose, the experience is flat. These tiny critics are also remarkably disposable. Your taste buds have a lifespan of about 1 to 2 weeks. They are constantly dying and being replaced by new ones. This is why if you burn your tongue on a hot slice of pepperoni, the world tastes dull for a few days. You have physically damaged the workforce. But don't worry, they are coming back. Your mouth is a self-repairing factory of sensory data. However, age changes the game. As you pass 50, your taste buds stop regenerating as quickly as they used to. They also lose some of their sensitivity. This is why your grandmother might dump massive amounts of salt or spice onto her food. To her, the intensity has faded. She is just trying to get the same chemical feedback that you get from a simple, unseasoned snack. There is also the matter of fat. For a long time, we didn't count fat as a primary taste. We thought it was just texture, a mouthfeel. But recent research suggests we have specific receptors for fatty acids. We call this oleogustus. It is a primal recognition of fat as a dense energy source. We are hardwired to pursue the rich, the fatty, and the sweet. We live in a world where these biological impulses are being exploited. Food scientists spend billions of dollars creating the bliss point. This is the precise ratio of sugar, salt, and fat that maximizes the pleasure response in your brain, overriding your body's natural satiety signals. You aren't just eating a snack, you are engaging in a neurological conversation that has been millions of years in the making. But here's the thought to chew on. If our tongues are just chemical maps evolved for a world of predators and famine, what happens to our humanity when we take control of the input? We are the only species that has divorced our taste from our survival. We eat for pleasure, for boredom, for stress, and for status. Every time you eat, you are casting a vote for how your body interprets the world. You are feeding the very things that define your reality. Are you still listening to the critics on your tongue, or have you finally started to tune them out?